Hello, hello. Good evening. Thank you for the pad. You timed it perfectly. Good job. Welcome. We are not playing Yakuza. We're not playing Like a Dragon tonight because, frankly, I am tired. However, I was talking about this with Flo a few weeks ago. I was like, I need another game to play to kind of really get back in the groove. And what better than another Ace Attorney? Because we have a few Ace Attorneys left. And I said, no! I'm not sending you guys to jail. I'm trying to get my clients not sent to jail. So what's the use of sending you guys to jail? That's a bad idea. No, but why not get around to playing really loud music in the main screen? Why not get around to playing some more Ace Attorney games that we haven't gotten around to? Also, I have never actually had the chance to play all of these before. I've played the 4th and the 5th, but I haven't played the 6th game, and the version I played were the ones on the 3DS. So I have no idea what the HD version changes exactly, aside from, I guess, the sprites. The story itself should be the same, but the sprites are different. That kind of thing. And also you can really tell that with this HD version they took care to make it like this whole thing here. They were like, yeah, you know what, this is an HD collection, let's actually make it look better than what we had so far. So I feel like I might have to turn it down a little more. I need it. And it's really loud. But yeah, there's... Let me check. This is the 5th game, and this is the 6th one. This is the one I've also never finished. I started this one on the 3DS, but never finished. Oh, this museum contains spoilers, that's nice. I don't actually want to go there. Okay, so you can just choose from the 3 games you have in the museum. These are the hoodie and the beanie. Yeah! Beanix. We're gonna get to see Beanix, but it's gonna be a while. Oh, no, not for too long. He does show up in the very first one. It's been a while since our last Ace, mainline Ace Attorney, I guess. I mean, we only finished the 2 Edgeworth games last year. Also, it's the end of May. Never mind, it's been a while. Yeah, this one originally came out in 2007. Which is crazy. It also means I have a bunch of reading to do. Haven't done that in a while. Turnabout Trump, yeah. Should get that guy out of office. What? Showdown time. You lose. A very violent loss, it seems. A completely different game with a dawn style? Yeah, no, it doesn't stay like this. I seem to be in a bit of trouble. Something like that. That someone hit him hard. Me? Please. The cops should be here any minute. I'm in your hands. Should have come to that. If they are actually going to remake Hotel Dusk, even if it takes like another 10 years, I will buy the game like 15 times, I swear to God. April 20! District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3. Panics, palm sweaty. I can admit it, I'm nervous. Good morning. Oh, hi. Why does it not recognize that I'm using a controller? Okay. Good morning, sir. You look tense, Justice. Wound up tight. Wound up, sir? No, I'm loose. I'm fine. That screeching noise. Is that your voice? I suppose it's to be expected. Your first trial and it's a homicide. I guess justice doesn't sound small, eh? Someone remake what I mean, to be fair, if they do it in any way similar to Ashley, they're going to make it like a collection of the 2 games. So it would only be 1 game that I'd have to run. I really hope they will though. I mean, because that way I could get even more people to play the games. I mean, the first one is easy enough. You get your DS emulator. But well, to be fair, both of them are on the DS. Never mind, both of them are easy enough to play. The Ashley games were the ones where the second one is a little harder to play. But still, I really hope they will get them. Maybe they saw that enough people are interested. I don't know how well the Ashley game actually sold. I know I certainly enjoyed it. It was really fun. I'm fine. I get up at 5 AM to do my Courts of Steel voice workout. I'm fine. Ah, that explains it. I did detect a certain rasping quality to your screech. Hope it did it again. My poor guy. As you know, your client today is a good friend of mine. I wouldn't want to let him down, if you get my drift. Drift gotten, sir. I'm all over that drift. As it happens, I dined with him the night of the murder. We can't let this case fall through. Yes, I'm fine, sir. Was Hotel Dusk the one with turning a pencil? Hotel Dusk, the second one, was the one where you had to try and operate a lift by pressing like 2 places at the same time, which on the DS would be easy enough, but on an emulator was not that easy. Turning the pencil. I don't remember turning the pencil. Could be though. There was the DS game that was in the side view of the DS. Black and white one. Oh yeah. That's the one. Maybe I should replay them. One more thing. Don't say you're fine quite so much. People might take you the wrong way. I'll be preparing our case. You might want to introduce yourself to the client. I would like to see the options I have on the controller because it's recognizing the input but not showing me the buttons I need. My name is Apollo Justice. If it isn't clear already, I'm a new attorney. And today is my first trial. Not that I'm worried or anything. The defendant has been accused of murder. Your first ever trial being a murder case is interesting. My boss wants to help him out, of course, and so do I. I mean, there's no way he did it. Not him. No way. Yo. Oh. Good, morning. Morning. It's all up to you today. First trial, nervous. Meeting him, cardiac arrest. I think I'm supposed to say something. Help? So you're... Fine. I'm fine. Mr. Fine, is it? I did remember you having an odd name. Says the guy whose name is Phoenix Wright. Well, we're off to a great start. Are you sure you're okay? I mean, with me? Mr. Gavin is a top-notch defense attorney, and he's your friend, so why... You'll see. Spoilers. Oh, come on. Come on. Oh gosh, gee, I wonder who this man is. Who doesn't look like anyone we've ever seen before, except this time he's wearing a hat over his spiky hair. Ooh. That might not be the best thing to say. No, No. You can do it. Be confident. I'm really sorry this happened to you. I mean, it's time, shall we? Yes, sir. We've had not only before, actually. True. But in this specific case, it very certainly is him. Okay, I need to focus. First trial, here comes justice. I remember the first time I played this game. Apollo is what, 24? I think. For some reason, every time I played the game, I thought he was like 17. And now that I'm older than him, I'm like, yeah, okay. Court is now in session.
Prosecution is... No.
Am I gonna do it? Should I do it? I'm gonna do it.
The prosecution is ready, Your Honor.
The defense is, fine. I mean, ready, Your Honor. 17-year law is not that out of place in this universe. It is! That's exactly why I keep thinking he's not much younger for some reason. I'm going blank. Don't panic. Too late. Your name was Mr. Justice. And this is your first trial? Yes, Your Honor. But I'm fine. Really. Are you quite sure? Your voice sounds a bit strained. Mr. Gavin. Yes, Your Honor. I was under the impression that you would be heading up this case. That was my intention, yes. However, a defense attorney must always see to his client's wishes. And my client specifically requested Mr. Justice. Well, of course he wants justice, but to entrust his case to this greenhorn. Why? I do not exaggerate when I say that you're the best defense attorney in town, Mr. Gavin. Okay, so Gavin's got trial experience, fine, but does he have courts of steel? Then let's begin. The defendant may enter the courtroom. He looks quite fancy. I think that's the HD of his sprite talking. Hi, room. Good evening. He's not any smarter than he is usually. Don't let him fool you. This is truly an unfortunate turn of events. I'm sorry we had to meet again under these circumstances. Long time no see, Mr. Wright. See? Look, the judge is spoiling, not me. The necklace is really out of place on him. Let's put the past behind us, shall we? These days I'm merely Phoenix Wright, piano player. Oh god, no, I did not. Oh god, I'm sorry to hear that, room. Mr. Wright, how could this have happened? I won't speak of it further then. If the prosecution would be so kind as to explain the charges. Mr. Payne.
I think I saw you enter this room a fresh attorney now, so you leave in change.
Ah, Winston Payne. Some as ever, I see. Why do I do this to myself every single time Payne is on the screen?
The crime occurred at the Borscht Bau Club, a Russian restaurant. The defendant, Phoenix Wright, took the victim, a customer, and he hit him. Wham! On the head. Smack. Killed him cold.
How do you kill someone warm? Oh, room. Why do things like that happen to you specifically? A customer at the restaurant, you say? And the defendant, you say he was...
The pianist for the club, it seems.
Phoenix Wright. A pianist.
This is the weapon that took the victim's life. A bottle of grape juice. Grape juice is apparently a defendant's drink of choice.
The court accepts the deadly bottle as evidence.
Hey! Grape juice bottle used as the murder weapon bears the defendant Mr. Wright's prints.
Fire usually. Yeah, smartest. I thought the same the second I said it out loud. Alas. Yeah, I'm unsure about the lucky part. Something to note, Justice. All evidence is filed in the court record. Oh, there we go. Finally, the right buttons. Make a practice of checking it frequently. Court record. Right, I've heard of that. This one. Only a unit for one. Just putting on makes you feel ready. Time of death was around 2 AM, April 17. Death caused by single blow to forehead. Can I look at this pic? Oh, I can. Okay. And how do I... Ah. Christoph Gavin, boss of Gavin Law Office, is a first-rate defense attorney, my trusted mentor. Pianist at Washbowl Club, formerly an ex-defense attorney of some renown. The victim in this case, a traveler only recently back in country, Shadi Smith. And Winston Payne, prosecuting attorney, for all his experience, he lacks a certain presence. He also lacks a bunch of hair.
The white buttons.
You used RB to look at the evidence so far. I did, thank you. I'm confident in your ability to handle this. Right, just use RB. It sounds like it's time for some hands-on action. So the victim was a customer at this restaurant. But just who was this, Shadi Smith fellow?
We believe he was a traveler, Your Honor.
A traveler?
According to his passport, he had been out of the country for a number of years. He had only returned to this country recently, though his place of residence is unclear.
And he has some sort of connection with the defendant.
That, too, is unclear at present, Your Honor. We believe they first met at the Borscht Ball Club on the night of the crime.
If they'd only just met, then why murder? Perhaps the victim slighted the defendant's piano playing.
That doesn't appear to have been the case. No, the motive had nothing to do with the defendant's lack of playing skill. At least not piano playing. I'll let this photo explain what I mean. As we can see, a game of poker was in progress at the scene of the crime.
Wait a second. Isn't poker gambling? That's a crime in and of itself.
Indeed, it appears our defendant has fallen to become the basest sort of criminal.
It is a nice song. This is also a nice song. This one we know, though.
Objection!
It is true that the defendant was engaged in a game of poker with the victim, yet it was only that, a game in the purest sense. A competition, Your Honor.
A competition?
Yes, a test of wits, a silent clash of passions. Only the cards the backs read in blue flame know its final outcome. Come again?
Cards on the table had blue backs, Your Honor. I believe the defense was waxing poetic in an attempt to mystify those present. An impressed woman.
That will be our first order of business here then, to find out more about this fatal game of cards. Very well, defendant. You will testify to the court about the poker competition held the night of the crime. My pleasure.
This is it. My first trial. Here goes nothing.
Hell yeah. I'm a pianist by trade, yet I can hardly play at all. My real job is to take on interested customers over at the poker table. The room where we play and the competition in there are the club's main attractions. The rules are simple. We play a game of poker using 2 decks of cards. That's all it is, a game. And our customers are happy. The pianist who can't play piano.
Better than a defense attorney who can't defend,
Says the guy who literally always loses. Very well. The defense may begin a cross-examination.
Right, Your Honor.
The first cross-examination? Don't blow it. Are you alright? You're sweating bullets. Bullets? Where? It's a figure of speech, Justice. Your voice sounds strained and raspy, too. My brain feels strained and raspy, sir. You've watched me perform cross-examinations many times. Though you've never done one yourself, have you? Care for a refresher? What to do? Should I ask Mr. Given for a refresher course in cross-examination?
No, thank you. Hi, Barry. Thank you for the
non-binary. That's still not... I don't know. I don't know why these are not working lately. 1 second.
Thank you. Thank you for the pet.
We don't want a refresher. This should work the same as it has done all the time.
No need for help here, sir. I think I've got this one covered.
I think you better do more than think. You know it or you do not. I'm fine. Words of steel are ready for battle. My weapons press and present. Find any inconsistencies and lies in the testimony and reveal them to the court. That is cross-examination. Learn it, know it, do it. I literally just told you I don't need a tutorial. Why are you still giving me the tutorial? Consistency is lies. Phoenix Wright? As if Phoenix Wright would never lie. It's up to me to prove it. The defense may begin the cross-examination.
Never lie.
Okay. And just the customers over the poker table. They pay you just to play poker? That would seem to be the case. I'm a professional after all.
Though I detect pride in that statement. It's just hard for an honest, hardworking member of society like me to imagine.
Yes, your imagination was always a bit limited, Winston.
What?
I've played poker for 7 years in a little room. And I've never lost once. What? You see where the customers come now? Defeat the undefeated poker champion. It's quite a draw. That is, I'm quite a draw. Wait, you've never lost once? Not even one time? As I said, I'm a professional. He's played poker for 7 years and not lost once. Is that even possible? Good, I would have loved to see Felix out of his job as a lawyer. Oh, for sure. He's like, yes! Finally, everything I've ever wished upon this man. Finally, he's lost his job. The room in the crime scene photo is an attraction? It has quite a history, actually. The Borscht Bowl Club used to be a gathering spot for black market types back in the day. Black market? All in the past, things like the black market are only on a silver screen nowadays. Suffice it to say that there were a lot of deals being made under the table. Right there in that room. Smoky room, gambling hoods, you know. Just looking at this picture makes me feel bad. The bosses gather around the table cutting deals safe from the eyes of the law. Meanwhile, a goon keeps watching through the small window. I can practically picture it now. The window does look like it would be good for keeping a lookout but little else. The room had a few other tricks to it, though it was common knowledge to our regulars. At any rate, they come to play poker in a room steeped in history. Despite the dark past, it was all just good, clean fun. The judge hasn't aged it. He's always looked incredibly old, so he's just like, you know. Two decks of cards. A simple measure to prevent cheating. If you alternate 2 decks, no one can slip in cards. Hit the bold hand. He came out of the room like this. He was like, "Mother, I crave to become a judge." There's something else I noticed. In addition to the cards on the table, there's some lying scattered on the floor. Precisely. Cards on the table, cards upon the floor, each one forming a complete deck. A crime scene painted blue by a sad sweep of cards. It's poetic, really. Incidentally, we used 2 types of cards at the club. One deck of cards was red, the other blue. As I recall, in poker you make 5-card hands. I can see how it would be easy to cheat. Yes, a game of hands. Just reached the age. He's like, he doesn't get any older than this. He started growing his first, like, white hair, and ever since then it's only been going downhill. I crave 2 things, men and justice. Oh, there's a scene in the 5th game, actually, where I'm like, it's only that way, that in the English version, that it would be even funnier if they had paid special attention to it, but that it only works in the English version because of the name changes. It's not the same way in the original Japanese. I hope I can remember by the time it actually comes around. This competition you're talking about, I believe the court understands the nature of the game sufficiently. That's right. It was a simple game, after all. Are you sure? Huh? People are not murdered over simple games, Mr. Justice. Defendant, you were in the room the very moment that the crime occurred. Yet you claim no connection to the crime? Now that's strange. What's strange? I was testifying about the competition that night. Asking me about the crime at this point is against the rules, Your Honor. Of course, I expected to hear a cry of objection from the defense. Completely let that one slip by. Don't despair, Your Justice. Sir? Right, there's something I'd like made clear. Namely, your connection to the case at hand. And I'd like to hear it from you. Sure, why not? Very well, the defendant will amend his testimony. Just one little press, and I've got myself a whole new testimony. Yeah. Complete silence regarding the murder, but I will say I never touched the murder weapon.
But your fingerprints are on this.
So you say you didn't touch the murder weapon? This grape juice bottle? Right? So I said. Something the matter, Mr. Justice? Oh my god. Too bad our new defense attorney never learned how to play dumb. What's this, Mr. Payne?
I examined the bottle in question, you see, and it was covered with the defendant's fingerprints.
Oh my god. No need to shout, Mr. Justice. I can hear you just fine. Excess yelling can damage the judge's ears and our case. What about my courts of steel? You've seen several people rocking the same fit as Phoenix. Fair. Fair. You think they're all expert poker players as well? Does it come with the fit? Or do you need extra training? Anyway, what's so strange about fingerprints on a bottle in a restaurant? Well, that's true. The prints alone don't prove you did it.
Oh, they would prove a thing, if they were normal fingerprints.
Huh?
But the fingerprints on the murder weapon were upside down.
Upside down? What does that mean?
It means he was holding the bottle inverted, and there can be only one reason for that. Yes. To brain someone with a bottle.
Someone was stupid. Mr. Gavin, I think things just took a turn for the worse. Oh, I see no problem, Justice. Huh? The only thing that matters is the truth. There's a good reason for everything. You'll see. Defendant, can you explain your fingerprints on this bottle to the court? Juggling bottles. The other two broke. I stand by my plea of silence regarding the murder. For now. Not very cooperative, are you? This could hurt your case.
I'm sure he's uncooperative because he's hiding something. There must be some reason.
Objection!
Your Honor, you seem to have forgotten something. And what might that be, Mr. Gavin? On the night of the crime, who was it who reported the murder to the police? Reported?
Well, that was the defendant, Mr. Wright. But still,
Really?
Yes, well, according to the case file, the murder was reported from near the scene by a call from the defendant's cell phone.
Near the scene?
Let's take a look at the diagram of the murder scene, shall we? The victim was murdered in a small room in the basement 2 floors down from ground level. Of course, cell phones can't get reception so far down. The defendant used the stairs in this hallway to go above ground. The call came from the first floor of the restaurant.
I see. And this is the phone that made the call? Used by the defendant to notify the police from the restaurant's first floor. The defendant could have just fled the scene of the crime if he so chose. Yet he fulfilled his duty as a citizen and reported it to the authorities. And you claim he is being uncooperative. Nice save, Mr. Gavin. I better not waste this. I think the prosecution has toyed with our client enough for the time being.
Toy? I assure you no one is more serious about...
What was it you said? The defendant was in the room the very moment that the crime occurred? How can you possibly know this? That's a good question. How indeed? The answer is simple, Your Honor. The prosecution is a decisive witness.
You're as good as they say you are.
someone else was in the room the night of the crime. And that must mean they witnessed the crime. Everything up till now has been a warm-up, Justice. Are you ready? Very well. The prosecution may call its first witness to the stand. Oh.
The witness will state her name and profession.
Hold on just a moment. Where's the witness?
I surmise that she's been frightened by the defense's demonic-looking horns.
So I used a little hair gel. Yes, people. See, he needs gel to make his hair work, but Phoenix is all natural. Have no fear. If any horns point in your direction, this court will cut them off. You are sure? I swear it on my gavel. Please, come out. Isn't violence against hair a crime, Your Honor?
Well, if you're sure it is okay.
Now, the prosecution... Wait a minute. Would the prosecution care to explain the witness's, paraphernalia? Excuse me?
Yes. She's a professional, Your Honor. Those are merely the tools of her trade.
And that would be?
My name is Olga Orly. I'm employed as waitress in Borscht Bowl Club restaurant.
Then why the camera?
Of course, it is my pride to serve borscht at this naming restaurant. But I also perform, how I said, other service.
I take it one of these other services take the customer's pictures.
Like for example, this one.
Ooh! That's the defendant.
Indeed, on the night of the murder. The man in white hat is one who has gone kaput. Kaput?
Aha! Okay. Thank you. Indeed, that is the victim. This is quite a piece of evidence to casually drop into our laps.
It is the same way as I drop cool bowls of borscht on laps of customers, casually.
Casually? You should put them on the table. Then the court will casually accept this new evidence.
Brennan and Mr. Smith at the Borscht Bowl Club. Now, witness, where were you at the time of the murder? I was in room, the hideout we call it.
Excuse me? The hideout?
It is room where famous gangster bad guy was arrested. It's room where murder took place. What? You look of utter surprise, it is lovely. I will post by courtroom door later for
It's been a few years since I last played this game, I forgot about her.
Photos will be numbered and you will write which ones you want copy of.
There were 3 people in the room at the time of the crime. The victim Shadi Smith, Mr. Wright, and Olga Orly, our witness. And if Mr. Wright isn't the killer, that means... Very well, witness. You will testify to the court about that night's events.
That night, customer asked me to deal cards for game. It was cold, both players play with hats on. The victim, he plays whole time with his hand on locket at his neck. Then last hand is done, but something terrible has happened. The man flew at victim and is strangling him to death.
Eh? But he died. Okay, sure. Okay, whatever you say. Incidentally, who won the game?
Isn't it obvious? The winner was the victim, Mr. Smith.
That's ridiculous. Because Mr. Wright can't lose. Justice? Maybe you can come up with a more legitimate objection? But he hadn't lost in 7 years.
Take it from me, kid. It happens. I didn't lose a case my first 7 years as a prosecutor either. Incidentally, I have some evidence here.
And I don't remember how I did his voice like 5 minutes ago.
These are the poker chips as they lay the very moment of the crime.
Aww.
The hand and chips on this side belong to the defendant, Mr. Wright.
Those on the far side belong to the victim, Mr. Smith. Chips, you say?
I mean, yes. Imagine that poker is war. Your hand is your army and the chips are the spoils.
I know that. After all, in my youth I was known as Poker Hat of courtroom number 3. I think he means poker face. Looking at this picture, it does seem that most of the chips are on the victim's side of the table. Very well, the defense may cross-examine the witness. Okay. Well, first of all, I'm going to present you with the autopsy report because his death was not caused by strangling. That doesn't even make sense. Oh really? Strangled, you say? That's odd.
Yeah, noble customers only choke on borscht.
No, I mean, this report shows that the victim died of a blow to the head. Miss Orley, really now? Did you witness the crime? Oh. Ew. Looking at the picture, it doesn't seem like he was hit. He's still wearing his hat and everything.
Yet it is a fact that he was hit, Your Honor.
Oh yeah, true.
Here's a photo we took of the victim with his hat off during our investigation.
Well, that's quite shocking, isn't it? His head certainly was hit.
But I've seen it happen. The defendant, he lunged at victim his neck.
Oh really, Miss Orley? I think I've caught you in your own lie this time. Justice. I admire your enthusiasm, but perhaps you should think this through once more. What do you mean? I found a contradiction. There's one thing in a testimony that troubles me. Very well. It seems we should continue the cross-examination. Such a thing as thinking too much. This horse is dead, let's stop reading it. Such a thing as thinking aloud too much too. He wasn't thinking aloud, no. You know, there was one curious part in the testimony, just like Mr. Gavin said. But what does that mean? Mr. Justice, would you care to explain what it is you're thinking so intensely about? Recall the testimony, Your Honor. The victim played with his hand on locket at his neck, I believe she said.
I hope you aren't about to raise an objection to the witness's grammar.
No, but look at this photograph. Do you see a locket on the victim's neck? Well done, Justice. I'm impressed. I knew you'd be able to handle this. But what does it mean? If we are to believe this witness's testimony as is, then the locket disappeared following the victim's death.
Look at this graph.
Lockets don't just disappear, Your Honor. It's quite simple when you think about it. If the locket is gone, someone must have taken it off, no? Taking it off? Wait, you don't mean... The defendant wasn't strangling the victim at all. He was taking off his locket. Wouldn't that explain it? I have to... The worst part is I don't even think about the original song anymore, but about this one where the photo part of the text is missing, so it's just, look at this graph! That's even worse than the original. Sadly, the nice tune didn't play for very long. Defendant, what do you have to say to this? Say... Yes. I just noticed this, but... You have something hanging around your neck, don't you? Oh, you mean this? Yes, it's a locket with a photograph inside. A photo of my daughter. Come again? Mr. Wright, you have a daughter?
We confirmed it at the time of the arrest. The picture in the locket is indeed Mr. Wright's daughter.
So Mr. Wright has a locket too. I don't know buy that this is just a coincidence. You cannot even... Aww. Now she's lovely.
You're going to meet her.
Well now, if the result of this poker game led to the murder, perhaps we should hear a bit more about the outcome of the game.
Further testimony won't really be necessary. It's clear the defendant lost, badly.
Miss Orley, you will testify to the court about the game played between the victim and the defendant. Okay.
The game began with 3,500 point-in chips for each man. House chips come in two sizes, small and large. The one who was winning, it was victim. For last hand, defendant played with all chips on table and lose. At the moment loss was decided, defendant grabs bottle from table and...
Indeed, looking at this picture, it does seem to be a one-sided game.
As the court knows, poker was the defendant's life. Failure must have been a bitter pill to swallow.
How many times have I heard these words?
I done it in a fit of anger, Your Honor, and now I regret what I done.
A common tale, but true. Methinks the judge watches too many old court movies. Mr. Wade said he hasn't lost in 7 years, so this testimony must be wrong. Are the chips on this photo all the chips that were used?
Yeah, of course.
Something's fishy with these chips. Should I press harder? Yes. Maybe you could explain a bit about these chips?
Explain? What is there to be explained? Poker chips are poker chips. They're not fish and chips. Not a chip of their old block, not a motorcycle cop, not a...
Thanks. Now that I've pressed her, I'd better ask something. What are these chips worth? Are they in dollars or rubles even?
Yeah, as I've been saying before, it was game, not gambling. Hard perhaps for capitalists to understand. Two types of chip, 100 points chips and 1,000 points chip. It's not money.
Justice. Sir? Don't you find a comment interesting? In more ways than one, sir. I'd have it added to a testimony myself. Well, does the defense want the witness to add to a testimony? Yes. I do think this deserves further scrutiny. Add it to the testimony. I wish I knew where I was going with this. Very well. Witness, if you would be so kind.
Ah, Your Honor.
What kind of chip is worth 100 points? Other kind as well. When who was winning, it was victim. Yeah, Dad grew up watching about motorcycles. I've seen him watching reruns of MTV. I mean, to be fair, it's been a while since this game was originally translated. So, you sure it was the victim who won? Absolutely sure.
It seems our new attorney is a bit confused. A glance at the picture is enough to tell you who won. If you're not in kindergarten.
Just for safety's sake, could you explain the problem to the court? Of course, Your Honor. To be fair, Payne is not that young either, so I wouldn't be surprised if he references something from the 60s. In this photo, I see small chips and I see large chips. Tell me, which one worth 1,000 points?
Why, the big ones, of course, duh.
Oh, I thought so too. But then the totals don't add up.
The totals?
Let's review what the witness told us. Each man started with 3,500 points in chips. And the combined total value of the chips was 7,000 points. Yes, if my calculations are correct. Let's see, 3 plus 1 carried to 5. They are, Your Honor. Now, look at this photo that allegedly shows all the chips. If the big chips are worth 1,000 points and the small chips are worth 100, and you add them up, how much is it? True to yourself, you aren't in kindergarten, are you? 10,600 points. The chips don't add up. This clearly contradicts the witness's testimony.
But why? How could this be?
Exactly, Justice. Now that you know the what, you must determine the why. Right, there's only one possible way to explain this contradiction.
Both were right.
Each man began the game with 3,500 points. If all the chips are indeed shown in this photograph, then there can be only one answer. Well, what is it? The value of the chips was the other way around.
What?
Want to know what I think? The small chips were worth 1,000 points, not the big ones.
Madness. Utter madness.
Show me the photograph of the chips again. There's 6 small chips and 10 large chips. That does make 7,000 points when you add them up.
No.
Excellent work, Justice. It's almost as though you figured it out by yourself. Hey! Well, I'm just glad I was the one who said it.
But wait. The value of the chips may be different, but that changes nothing.
Indeed, the victim did have the larger number of chips still. So? Exactly. If the small chips are 1,000 points and the large chips are 100, let's do a little maths. Add up the points for each side of the table. The victim, Mr. Smith, had 2,900 points and the defendant had 4,100. Well now, it seems that Mr. Wright was winning that night after all.
It's impossible.
My client had even less reason to kill the victim. After all, he was winning. Now, Miss Orley, you must have known the true value of the chips, since you were there at the scene of the crime, weren't you? It appears our defendant has lost his motive, and Mr. Wright's supposed defeat never happened. We must now ask ourselves whether we can trust the witness's testimony at... Excuse me? What is it, Miss Orley?
I did not want to be saying this, but actually, you see,
See what, Miss Orley? What do we see?
In the last hand, there was cheat.
A cheat? You don't mean...
A trick.
Wait, or do you mean a scam? They're all the same thing.
Yes, there was cheat in last hand. That is why game ends with chips as they are.
Great. Just great. First we have lying, now cheating. Well, this case certainly is taking a turn. But interesting. Witness, you will please testify to the court. Tell us about this cheating in the final hand.
The last hand, both men had full house. There is 4 of each card in deck from ace to king. If you look at both men's hands, cheat is more obvious. The next moment, game becomes argument. The defendant's trick was exposed. He took bottle in his hand, poor Mr. Smith.
Miss Orley, why did you not tell the court about this from the very beginning? I thought I smelled a cover up here. Well, folks, it's time to throw back the covers. A full house is a very high-scoring hand, not easy to make in my experience.
That alone is enough to suspect less than scrupulous tactics.
Mr. Kevin? What's a full house?
Lawyers these days, you don't know your poker?
I can say this bodes well for your case or career. What is this, some kind of secret court poker ring? Justice, you know the terms 1 pair, 2 pair, and 3 of a kind, yes? Yeah, no problem. 2 cards of the same number makes a pair and 3 make a 3 of a kind. Good. Now picture a hand with 1 pair and 1 3 of a kind. That's a full house. That doesn't sound very easy to make, does it?
You can see each player's hand in this photo.
Wow, they both have full houses.
We forgot there's an easy way to make a full house and go undefeated for 7 years. You cheat.
Wait, hold on. They didn't really try to bother to make this one not look as much like the heart. Not that it really matters. The defense may cross-examine the witness. If you did cheat in the last hand, that still leaves one important question. Mr. Wright lost that hand. Who's ever heard of a professional conman losing when they cheat? Okay. How was it clear?
Yeah, well, the defendant, he played a fifth ace.
A fifth ace?
I still remember both hands very well. Mr. Smith's hand has 3 aces. And Mr. Wright's too.
Obviously, cheating was afoot, or perhaps should I say, a hand. Your Honor, perhaps this can be added to the testimony, without Mr. Payne's joke. Very well. The witness will add this detail to her testimony, please. 3 aces, Mr. Wright's 2. It's 5 aces in total, but what we see in the picture is only 2 aces.
Objection!
It appears the witness is mistaken.
Mistaken? But my name...
Look, this piece of evidence clearly contradicts what you said in your testimony. That's the photo of the chips, is it not? Justice, perhaps you ought to explain your point in a way that the judge can comprehend. In other words, use your finger to point out your point. Yes, please point out the contradiction in this photo. What particular point contradicts the witness's testimony?
Take that!
Miss Ollier, in your testimony you made the following claim. Mr. Smith's hand has 3 aces. But as you can clearly see, the victim's hand only held 2 aces.
Well, maybe the witness was simply confused. Perhaps it was the defendant's hand that held the 3rd ace in question.
Objection!
Take another look at the evidence. As you can see, the defendant also had 2 aces in his hand. Where's his 5th ace? I see cheating alright, and it's going on right here in this courtroom. Ooh. 2 aces in each player's hand does make 4 aces total. Hardly proof of cheating.
Wait, please. It is true. I have seen it. The 5th ace. It was cheating, I swear to you.
That's odd. She must be lying, yet she's the most sincere I've seen her all day. You're right to trust your instincts. Mr. Gavin, who knows what lies in store for us in a trial ahead? Your Honor, if I may, I have a suggestion. What might that be, Mr. Gavin? If you don't mind, perhaps you might examine the actual cards? Cards? Mr. Payne.
Yes.
The player's hands that night were set aside as evidence, were they not? The defense would like to request that the cards be shown to the court. Very well, the prosecution will submit this evidence. Which will you examine? The victim's cards or the defendant's cards? If these cards don't prove cheating was going on, nothing will. Now, which of these hands is more suspicious? The victim's. It was the victim's hand that changed over the course of the witness's testimony. The defense requests time to examine Mr. Smith's cards. Very well. Mr. Payne, if you would.
Very well.
Hey, Victim Smith's hand was left at the scene, a full house. Well, time's a wasting. Get to it, Justice.
Yes, sir.
Oh, game was really forcing us to look at them. When examining evidence, be sure to view it from all sides and angles. Try using OK to turn it every which way and to zoom in and out. Should give you a better perspective on the case. Okay, let's do this. Wow, would you look at that? This one looks different. What? Your Honor, look at this. One of the victim's cards. The back is a different color.
That's impossible. But I put the card in Wright's hand.
Ah. What was that, Miss Orley? I merely said that I have... Your Honor. Mr. Gavin, yes. Tell me, what is the easiest way to cheat at poker? Cheat? I'll tell you. One merely needs a friend, a comrade, shall we say. The dealer. Wait, so you mean... This witness, Miss Orley, she's a cheater, a professional admirer. Focus, Justice. Time to take advantage of her. I mean, of her mistake. Your Honor, please recall the testimony we just heard. Ergo, Miss Olga only conspired to cheat not with my client, but with the victim, Mr. Shady Smith. Whatever. Not only did she cheat, she cheated poorly. Isn't he? No! Why would you think she was German in the first place? She works at a borscht restaurant and her dialect or whatever is attempting to be a kind of Russian thing. Therefore, it's not hard to imagine an altercation between her and the victim. What? You don't mean the defense isn't accusing the witness, Miss Olga Orley, are you? Time for justice. There were 3 people in the room at the time of the incident, and if Mr. Wright isn't guilty, that means I am. The defense accuses the witness, Miss Olga Orley, of murder. Oh. And she's down. Oops. Mr. Payne, where's your witness, Miss Olga Orley?
It appears she has lost consciousness, Your Honor.
It has been a day, yeah. But yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Justice, Your Honor, it seems you've presented a new possibility to the court. One suggesting a connection between the witness and the victim, Mr. Smith. And that means this court cannot pronounce a verdict for the defendant at this time. What? I did it! I held out! I see no point in prolonging the trial this day. The prosecution will need to make further inquiries. Except this is the beginning case, so we're doing this in one day. Mr. Wright, you can't enter trial here, Your Honor. Not yet. What nonsense is the defendant spewing now? Think. One of the cards had a different colored bag. Don't you want to know what it means? What are you doing, Mr. Wright? Raising objections right when you're about to get off the hook? Ridiculous. Mr. Payne, you of all people should know, Mr. Wright has a talent. What a ridiculous. He does, indeed. Perhaps we should get to the bottom of things. Let's clear up the facts about the game that fateful night. Genau to Philippines. You're simply trying to spread genau to everyone regardless of what language they're speaking. As was said before, we alternated between 2 decks of cards that night.
That was said before.
The 2 decks at the club have different colored bags, blue and red. 1 color per deck. Why use different colored bags? If you use the same color, the 2 decks might get mixed. You use different colors and they still get mixed up. We used the red deck for the last game. I see. But that's odd. For some reason, I have this impression that you were using the blue cards. Yeah, me too. I'm sure someone said something about blue cards.
Whatever, in the end, not one card of the wrong color got into the mix. Which means it was cheating.
Yes, a card slipped into the deck would seem to indicate cheating. Yet, this card raises 2 serious questions. Apollo. Yes? Let's consider the first question, shall we? Think. In the last game, when was the card swapped? When? There are 3 broad possibilities here. It could have been swapped before the murder, during the murder, or after the murder. Oh, yeah. Thanks for the news bulletin, Mr. Wright. Of course it was swapped. Oh. It might be as simple as you think, Mr. Payne, or it might not be. I'd like to hear what Apollo thinks fits first. When do you think the cards were swapped? When was the card swapped into the deck? After the murder. Perhaps it happened after the murder.
What's that? Ridiculous.
What's the point of cheating after the hands have been shown? That's silly. Yes, but tell me, how do you swap cards during the game? I'll take silly over impossible.
Take it from me, son. There's a lot of silly in this world, but very little impossible.
Oh, even when the backs of the cards are a different color? If you pulled it during the game, you'd be caught in no time. Quite true. That would mean that the blue card in question was swapped after the hands were shown, after the murder.
Okay, this is going past silly and straight on to crazy. Ask again, what's the point of cheating after the game's over? Who would do that?
Oh, indeed. That's one of the mysteries before us. There's another. Yes, a simple yet decisive question must be asked. Who swapped the red card for a blue card? Ooh. The game and murder is done. The victim is dead. Only two remain in the room. Alive, that is. The defendant, Phoenix Wright, and our witness, Olga Orley. Okay, so who was it that swapped the red card for a blue? The one who swapped the cards wasn't Mr. Wright, of course. And, well, it doesn't seem like it could have been Olga Orley either.
What are you suggesting?
That's hardly a logical conclusion, I'll admit. As a defense, I think it only makes sense for you to name Miss Orley at this point. Yes, I know, but she was the one who dealt the cards, right? I just can't believe she would make the mistake of swapping the wrong color card. And if the card was swapped during the game, it would be obvious. Something you'd like to share with the court, Mr. Wright? Oh, my apologies, Your Honor. I was just thinking how much fun all this is.
Fun? How about confusing? I have no idea what the defense is claiming, Your Honor. If the one who swapped the card wasn't a defendant and it wasn't Mrs. Orley, then who was it?
Yeah, well, that is the question, isn't it? Precisely. Huh? I believe we're about to see this case take a new direction. A new direction? We'll find that, indeed, after the murder, someone swapped one of the cards in the victim's hand. And that someone made two critical mistakes. I'm sure you're going to tell us that the first was swapping the wrong color card. Because the one who did the swap didn't know two colors of cards were being used. The other mistake was the number on the card. Right, the person replaced the fifth ace with a king. I'm sure whoever swapped it wasn't expecting there to be a fifth ace after all. All they knew was that the game had been won with a full house. So they picked up a king from the table and swapped it in.
But there's one problem. According to our case record, this person doesn't exist.
True, not until now, but you have to admit the possibility of a fourth person. Though it's more than a possibility. There was someone else there that night at the scene of the crime.
What?
I believe the judge spoke truthfully earlier. You do make trials ridiculous, Mr. Wright. This trial has proceeded on one central assumption, namely that at the time of the incident there were only 3 people in that room. I believe this new evidence, shall we say, overturns that assumption. The problem is that you chose to conceal this information from the court. I suppose that is a problem, yes. Court is adjourned for a brief recess. Mr. Gavin, I'll see you in my chambers during this recess. Certainly, Your Honor. Very well. The trial will resume in 20 minutes. Oh. Very first case, and we get a recess. That was quite unexpected, Mr. Wright. You suddenly claimed there was another person at the scene of the crime like that. I must ask, is it the truth? Well now, I think you would know the answer to that. Being mysterious, are we? Sadly, I have no time for mysteries. I'd only ask that you leave the defending to your defense in the future. Otherwise, I cannot guarantee the outcome. I see you haven't mellowed down one bit, Kristoff. Justice. Yes, sir. The judge has summoned me to his chambers, so carry on without me. You did well, Apollo. Can I ask you something? Sure. The locket you wear, is that really yours, Mr. Wright? Ah, you're wondering about the victim's disappearing locket? Yeah, you can take a look at it. It's a picture of my daughter in there.
She's so cute.
Make life change decisions in every sense. I'm just surprised to hear you had a daughter. Most people are. Perhaps you meet her one of these days. One more question. The one who cheated that night, was it you? What do you think? Huh? You know what happened 7 years ago? What is it? Is it unreasonable for you to think I might cheat? I never, honest, but it is odd that he managed to go undefeated for 7 whole years. Want to know something? There's only one game where you can be dealt bad cards all night and still win. Poker. Eh? You see, poker's all about reading your opponent. In a way, it's a lot like a court case. Poker is like trial law. Figure out what your opponent is thinking and you win. Well, yeah, but it's harder than it sounds. I think not. Try as they might to conceal it, everyone reveals their true thoughts in the end. The body language can become a valuable source of information. You're kidding. The witness, for instance, Miss Orley. She would touch the back of her neck during certain parts of her testimony. Did you notice? No? Come on, who'd notice that? Words, habits, twitches, it's all information for the reading. That's the secret to winning, Apollo. Someone taught me, and now I pass the secret on to you. But I'm not worthy. I mean, there's no way I'll pick up on these signals. No, you can do it. Huh? You just don't know it yet. What's he talking about? But you will, soon. Almost forgot. One more thing. About this case. You should know, I haven't told the truth to anyone yet. What? I knew it. I have my reasons, of course. All shall be revealed. And Apollo, I need you to be there defending me. I need your power. My, power. I had no idea my courts of steel were that special. It's time. The real trial begins now. Do your best.
To be continued.
I think it might be one of the longest introduction cases, actually.
Courtroom number 2.
Court will now reconvene. Has our witness, Miss Olga Orley, recovered?
Yes, Your Honor. Well, she's regained consciousness.
Thus we can hear a version of the events again.
That's the thing. You see, she's quite fatigued.
You're looking a bit fatigued yourself, Mr. Payne. Sadly, fatigue is insufficient grounds for refusing to testify or prosecute. The defense would like to request that Miss Orley take the stand. Very well, the witness will take the stand. Perhaps you could repeat your name and profession? Or perhaps you'd rather admit that you're a poor liar and a poorer loser.
Not.
Oh.
Name's Olga Orley, that's the truth. I'm a pro dealer. People call me Olga Quickfingers Orley.
Oh. Oh, really?
Want to know something else? I'm not really Russian and my last name sounds like O'Reilly. Yeah, that's the truth. I hope you're satisfied.
Wow. Who would have guessed? Witness, you will tell the court that what you were really up to that night.
Fine, I'll talk. We had a plan, see?
Let me remind you that you're currently under oath. Any further fabrications will have serious consequences.
Fine.
The amount of people who under oath say just whatever they want in Ace Attorney is pretty much everyone. Anyway. Like I said, I'm a pro. The guy Smith hired me to do what I do best. I was planted at the Borscht Bowl Club several days prior to the night of the game. As a waitress. So you were in cahoots with the victim. Not that he needed my help. Smith is a well-known poker player in some circles. Winning wasn't the main purpose of this game. It was about destroying a legend, the unbeatable Phoenix Wright. The plan was simple, elegant really. You see, we set up a trap of sorts. I was to plant the card in Wright's pocket beforehand, and then deal 5 aces during one of their games. When the hands were revealed, Smith would call him out and search Wright. He would then pull out the planted card and the trap would snap shut. Shot the cards! As well as a cheater and losing on top of it, it would have made a great double play. Just like that, the legend would be dashed to pieces. Indeed, getting caught red-handed at cheating would cast doubt on his prior wins. A 7-year legend destroyed by one little card. That was the plan. Well, good evening. Oh really, Orly? How droll. But it appears you made quite the mistake. A mistake? Yeah. Why aren't none of these working? Thank you. I agree, the trap was elegant. Yeah, what happened to the planted card? Hey, that's right. He's lucky, I'll give him that. You'd have to be to slip free from a trap laid by Olga Quickfinger's Orly. Please don't say that every single time. Oh, really? The witness would be much cuter if she dispensed with the evil mastermind shtick. Oi, oi, oi. Aha. Thank you. And thank you for the pat. Cute. Who wants to be cute? I'm not cute. I'm bad. You hear me? Bad. Okay, girly pop. When you're through being bad, perhaps you could testify to the court? Tell us about this trap and how it was sprung. That night I planted the card like I was supposed to, and Wright lost the last hand just like he was supposed to. Then Smith searched him, but the planted card was gone. The trap failed. I said, okay, girly pop. The next moment, Wright picked up a bottle and swung it. It wasn't me who hit Smith, it was a no-good cheating defendant. A surprisingly frank testimony that still leaves us mostly in the dark. No problem. The trap was perfect, I tell you, perfect. If the rotten cheater hadn't messed it up. Look who's talking. Well, the testimony, for what it's worth, is all yours, Mr. Justice. With witnesses like her, who needs criminals? And with defendants like Mr. Wright, who needs prosecutors? I mean, Dua Lipa is a singer as far as I'm concerned, but I wouldn't know anymore. Okay, I would like to... Ooh. Wait, isn't that a little odd? What's odd? You searched Mr. Wright thoroughly and found nothing. Which means he didn't cheat. Which means he had no reason to strike the victim. Well... Oh yeah, no, I think she's a singer? You've probably heard some of her songs before, but I couldn't tell you off my head which ones. What was that just now? I sensed something. Something wrong, Mr. Justice? No, nothing, Your Honor. What to do? Should I press her a little harder? Yes, always. Miss Orley, you're hiding something. What are you talking about? Me? Quick fingers only hide something. Jesus Christ.
The defense will refrain from baseless accusations.
I have one question for the witness then. You say you saw the moment the defendant hit the victim. Is this true?
Of course it's true. I did see it, honest. I saw it when Wright hit him.
Mm-hmm.
With my own eyes, I saw it.
What's this weird vibe I'm getting? The witness, for instance, Miss Orley, she would touch the back of her neck during certain parts of her testimony. Yep. I did notice. Touching her neck, was it? Yay for new things! Whoa, what's going on? The sensation. It's coming into focus. There, the twitch. It's so clear. It's like I could perceive a habit like I couldn't before.
Gotcha!
Mm-hmm. Miss Orley, perhaps you're unaware of this yourself.
Unaware of what?
Whenever you get to a certain part of your testimony, you touch the back of your neck with your left hand.
My neck? So what?
What indeed, Justice? I hadn't noticed anything of the sort. When she says that part of her testimony, she's subconsciously recalling something. Her body reacts to the memory and she touches her neck. I'm sure of it.
Memory? Would someone care to explain what he's babbling about?
This is highly unusual, but let's ask the defense. You claim the witness is remembering something. Maybe you have evidence of this memory to show us? Her habit is scratching her neck whenever she talks about the moment of the crime. So what would remind her most of the moment of the crime? Miss Orley, whenever you recall the crime that night, you scratch your neck. I've noticed that happens when you think about the moment of the crime. There must be some reason behind this habit of yours. I believe the weapon that left an inerasable impression on your neck is this.
Take that!
Whenever she talks about the moment of the crime, she touches her neck, and what reminds us more of the moment than this bottle, the murder weapon. But something doesn't fit. If you were only the witness to the crime, why would that make you touch your neck like you're in pain?
What's he talking about now?
It was Mr. Smith, the victim, who was hit, not you.
This is a cross-examination, not a cross-file conjecture. The witness's habits, they're completely irrelevant.
Justice, I'll admit I'm a bit confused myself. This is certainly a unique cross-examination.
I'll explain later, just trust me. Now's our only chance to break her.
Miss Orley, please testify in detail about the moment of the crime. The very moment.
Yet, I know nothing.
We know you're not Russian. The witness will testify, please, now.
Fine.
Is everything gaming with you? Yeah. It's going somewhat. He's the one who did it. I didn't let him out of my sight until the cops got here, she says. But he used a cell phone on the first floor.
Objection!
Miss Orley, we have a record here that clearly contradicts what you just said. It says that the police were alerted by a report from the defendant. Okay? And we know that the defendant left the room, climbed the stairs, and made that phone call from the first floor of the Washed Bowl Club. So explain how you kept your eyes on the defendant when he left the room entirely. The man who picked up a bottle and swung it that night wasn't a defendant. Ha ha ha. You dirty cheat. Check his pockets now. It's gone. The card's gone. You lose. Just then, Smith grabbed the bottle from next to right, and he hit me. You, some master of cheating you turned out to be. When I came to, the victim was already dead. Oh, the victim was already dead, is that it? That's why I couldn't reveal who I really was. If it came out that I was in league with Smith, I'd be a suspect for sure. So you lied under oath and pretended to be Russian. Yay! Well, where does this leave us? Madness. This is madness. I'm dreaming. That's not a nice dream you're having. Must have been me who was hit with the bottle and I'm imagining all of this. It appears our prosecution is at his wit's end, and frankly, I can't blame him. Mr. Gavin, what do you think about this turn of events? I'll fucking do it again. For real though. All of them always lie under oath. That's half the fun in these games. Mr. Gavin, sir? I believe that, as a defense in this case, we are compelled to call Miss Orley a big fat liar. What? 3 were in that room the night of the murder, the defendant, the victim, and her. And she has a motive. A motive? A plot foiled, the witness got into an argument with her client, Mr. Smith. And the denouement of that argument was murder. What? I'm no killer. It's a trap. Someone's trying to frame me. Someone gets caught lying on oath in a real life case and they say I was just trying to make court fun. True. I get. Yeah. I mean, this specific judge has no. Can't say the same goes for the judge in the Great Ace Attorney games either. But this specific judge, yeah, he's good. What tangled webs we weave when we practice to deceive. So tangled we catch ourselves in the process. Mr. Wright. Such a hasty conclusion. It's not like you, Christoph Gavin. What are you saying? Why not consider the other possibility? That there was another person in the room at the time of the murder. Right, like Mr. Wright was saying before recess. A single card was swapped into the victim's hand after the murder. And the one who swapped the card didn't know 2 colors of cards weren't being used. A 4th person. They did indeed hit us with another 10 Ashleys before the end of the game. Thank you for the pattern that I did that.
This theory again, your 4th person doesn't exist.
Indeed. That's why I decided to bring this case to court. Here, where there's no escape and no chance for deception. The perfect place to catch the real criminal. The real criminal. And we're in luck. A clue to the real criminal's identity was kindly provided for us. An objection counter. And right at the beginning of the trial, no less.
What?
Apollo, perhaps you know what I'm talking about? Sorry. Remember what I said. The 4th person who swapped the cards made one critical error. They weren't considering the color on the backs of the cards. Right. But how could such an obvious mistake occur? The cards used for the last game were red. Yet there's one person here, in our court, who thought those cards were blue. Yeah, I had that impression too, but why? Well, Apollo, think you can figure out who it was? It's not me, I swear. Who's this fourth person? I do always get put on the spot like this because you're the main character. Let's see what the defense has to say. Who was it? Who thought the cards used in the final game were blue? Section of the story can be summarized as the wrap up spanning from after climate and also fusion. Thank you!
Take that!
As I expected. Your eyes and ears are as sharp as your hair. I was right. Christoph Gavin, you were the fourth person that night. But of course Mr. Gavin knows the color of the cards. How would he? As you can see, the photo of the crime scene is black and white. You can't tell which of the cards are blue, the ones on the floor or the table. But look, you can see the colors in this photo. Yes, but when he said the cards were blue, it was well before this evidence came to light. The competition. Yeah. His hair is very sharp. If he gels it so it stays up like that, it can be sharp. It doesn't hold. It looks sharp. Let's just pretend he meant to say it looks sharp. Well, Christoph. Mr. Gavin? Mr. Gavin, is something the matter? Hmm? No, nothing. Excuse me, it's just so sudden. Right, you aren't seriously accusing me, are you? Oh, Christoph. You know, even I'd never take a joke this far. This has gone beyond ridiculous, beyond dumb. This is insanity. The defendant accusing his own defense attorney of murder. I assure you I'm quite sane. But what possible connection could Mr. Gavin have to the victim? I wasn't aware that I had a connection to Mr. Smith either. Yes, but Mr. Gavin and the victim have never even met. Well, what if they have? Huh? There is a possibility, after all. They may have met that night before the game started. What are you suggesting? Is this the truth Mr. Wright was staying silent about? Well, only one thing to do. Mr. Wright, the defense would like to request that you testify to the court. The defense would like to request no such thing. Mr. Gavin, testimonies must relate to the case. How could anything happening before the game of poker be related? I'm not sure I follow, Mr. Gavin. As I explained before, the defense believes that Miss Orley. Am I to assume you speak for Mr. Justice in this? He's the defense, not you. Mr. Justice, the matter of Mr. Wright's testimony is up to you. Oh, okay. Does the court, in your opinion, need to hear Mr. Wright's testimony? Yeah, duh. Hi, good evening. This is Mr. Wright's strategy. He was planning this all along. And I intend to see it through. The defense would like to request that Mr. Wright testify to the court. And too, Justice. You would betray me, your teacher. Hell yeah. And too. I'm sorry, Mr. Gavin. This isn't about loyalty. This is about the truth. Very well. The defendant, Mr. Wright, will take the stand, please. That evening, Christoph and I had dinner. We sat at a table in this photograph. Jody Smith walked in 5 minutes after Christoph left. When the trap failed, Smith hit the waitress. The girl was knocked out cold and Smith was uncontrollable. I left to call the police. When I returned, he was dead, blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. That's when I made another phone call to defense attorney Gavin. You don't want to sleep yet, why? Well, it is already 11. It's valid to want to go to sleep. Mr. Gavin, you were at the Borscht Ball Club the night of the murder? I dine with him rather frequently. And he talked to the defendant on the phone directly after the murder? Quite against my will, I had become involved in a murder. I thought I might be in need of a lawyer, so I called him. You were planning this all along, weren't you, right? Just because you wanted to drag me into your little murder trial. The only thing I want is the truth. As I did back then, and now. I thought my office was doing you a favor when we took on your defense. It appears that I was wrong. Very well, the defense may cross-examine the witness. Justice. Sir. He's lying and you're going to expose him. Understood, sir. Mr. Gavin versus Mr. Wright. This can end well. I'm gonna have a normal trial.
Because this is an Ace Attorney game.
About this failed trap. This is the same trap that Miss Olga Orly mentioned. No. I mean, they're usually shorter than this, but they're not really normal. I mean, the second game has you hit over the head with a fire extinguisher and short-term memory loss for a little while, so that's the one that always stays with me. Yes, a harmless prank in a sense. It was by a quirk of fate that I happened to discover it. A quirk? I happened to put my hand in my pocket and found a card. A card she planted. Yes, I snuck a peek at it and found it was the 5 of Hearts. I had a feeling something might happen, so I disposed of the card before the game. Disposed? Where? It was an empty bottle of grape juice I had been drinking right beside me. I threw the card inside the bottle. An empty bottle of grape juice. The murder weapon? The murder weapon? Yes, I rolled it up and shoved it in. The colored glass makes it hard to see. A battle of wits between the deceiver and the would-be deceived. That sounds like terrific drama. A card inside the murder weapon. That's strange. Did the police miss it in their investigation? Maybe I'll take a look. Oh. Mr. Wright, the poker head of courtroom number 3 approves of this battle of wits. Wait, let me check. Can I? Can I check this thing in more detail? No clues here. Okay. Please revise your testimony with this new information. Okay, I discovered a trap during the game and disposed of the card in the bottle. I'm not seeing... The bottle's completely empty. Okay, thank you. Can I open it? No. Mr. Wright, if I may? Yes. I've examined the bottle and I don't see any card in here. No? What? Mr. Wright, surely isn't all you have to say for yourself. I can't say that I know what happened to the card. I did put it in a bottle, however. Perhaps a 5th person came and took it out. Oh, and a 6th person could have helped. Mr. Gavin, Mr. Wright is your client. My apologies, Your Honor. I won't have you disparaging our investigation either.
We looked inside that bottle. There was nothing.
So what's going on? Is Mr. Wright hoodwinking us again? Or did the card just disappear? In any case, please continue the cross-examination. I'm afraid decisive contradictions call for decisive evidence. Oh. Push him harder, Justice. Break him. It's just you and the witness in the ring. Go for the KO. I don't get the feeling we're not on our client's side anymore. Mr. Wright, if I may. Yes. Take a look at this photograph of the crime scene. See the victim here? He's wearing a hat. I wouldn't think you could see blood on his forehead. Good point. Thank you for coming by, room. Have a good night. Justice. Next time you point out an inconsistency, put a little more oomph into it. Mr. Wright, can you explain this to the court? I forgot to mention something. I was the one who put the hat on his head. Eh? You? You put the hat on the dead man's head? He wore it through our entire poker game. After calling the police when I returned to the scene, his head was in full view. Shining bright, just like in this photograph. And I picked his head up off the floor and put it on his head. Why'd you do a thing like that? All I can say is I'm sorry. But that's the only thing I touched at the crime scene. So, Miss Ori didn't see it. It being the victim's, his head. I think not. She was at court. I believe I was the only one who witnessed his head. Now, here we go again. Mr. Kevin. Pardon. It just seems that our client is determined to lie his way through his case. Hey, he's still our client, isn't he? I believe that's enough of that. Mr. Gavin? This witness's testimony is more like a travesty. It's riddled with lies. I'm beginning to see how you came to lose your attorney's badge 7 years ago. Well, you certainly have a unique way of treating your clients, Christoph. I never knew. I believe it was you who threw the first stone. Mr. Wright, if you intend to ever tell the truth about this case, it's now or never. Don't be misled. I haven't told a single lie here. When I noticed a trap, I put the card in the bottle to dispose of it. And when I put the hat on the victim's head, let's just say I had a reason for doing that as well. A reason? The reason is right here. Your cell phone. That night, recall that I spoke with defense attorney Gavin after calling the police? Just in case I recorded our conversation. What's this? Now that we're all here, I see no reason why I shouldn't play it back for the court. Christoph, I seem to be in a bit of trouble. What's this? Game not going well? Something like that. The gentleman who challenged you, he turned out to be good? He turned out to be dead. Someone hit him, hard. You mean someone cracked that flawless bone china plate? What? It wasn't you, was it? Me, please. The cops should be here any minute. I'm in your hands, should it come to that. Oh, china plate. A kind of porcelain, very smooth and shiny, not plate, but plate. I believe he was referring to a certain gentleman's balding forehead. The court appreciates the defendant's discretion in not indicating my forehead. Wait a second, something's not right about that phone call. So after Mr. Gavin ate dinner with you, he left the Borscht Bowl Club? Most certainly. Then how did he know? When did he see this bone china? I don't know if you actually say it like that. Oh, that's right. Yes, that was when I began to see my good friend in a different light. Troubled, I returned to the crime scene. And when I spotted Mrs. Smith's head again, I realized exactly what was wrong. Well, Mr. Gavin, the stage has been set. Perhaps you would like to explain this to the court. Exactly how did you come by your privileged knowledge of the victim's head? So this is your reason. The reason why you put the victim's hat back on. Your point, Mr. Gavin. Let's come down to this, has it, Phoenix, right? Mr. Payne. Yes, Your Honor. I believe this court has been left with no other choice. Are you prepared to hear Defense Attorney Gavin's testimony?
Well, as the prosecutor...
Very well. We'll break for 10 minutes. After which Mr. Gavin will take the stand for a cross-examination. Are we all clear on that? Crystal clear, Your Honor. Very well. This will be the final recess for the day. 2 recesses in our very first case. That's crazy. Mr. Gavin and Mr. Wright are both in a judge's chamber. Who'd have thought today would turn out like this? May I?
Oh, hey!
What?
Hello, sir. Please pick a card.
What's all this about? Is this one okay?
Excellent. I have a message for you. The last hand is about to be played. You'll need a trump card to make it.
A trump card?
The card you have chosen is magical. Use it wisely and the game is yours. That's all.
An ace. Where do I remember that card from?
Mr. Smith's hand has 3 aces and Mr. Wright's 2. It's 5 aces in all. It is true, I've seen it. The 5th ace. It was cheating, I swear to you.
I like that it says Capcom on that card. Capcom Osaka, specifically. The missing 5th ace. Wait, the splotch of red. Is this blood?
Is it? You have your trump card. Now it's up to you to cut the deck and draw the truth. My father's fate is in your hands. I know you can do it.
I love her. She's so cute. This bloodstained card is my trump card for finding the truth.
The truth.
I fell deep into thought as my mind raced to understand what this all meant. That girl, I'd seen her recently, but where? That's when I made the connection. Received from a mysterious girl. Could this be the missing 5th ace? Court will now reconvene. Defense Attorney Christoph Gavin, will you please take the stand? Now then, if you would, Mr. Payne. Did Capcom ever said? I have no idea. Yes, Your Honor. The witness state his name and occupation. It's as far as necessary, Your Honor. Believe me, far stranger things have gone on in this courtroom. Fine, I'll play along. First, there's one thing we need to have made clear. How did you know about the secret beneath the victim's hat? By secret, I'm guessing he means the fact that Mr. Smith was bald. Forgive my curiosity, but what is it about this fellow's hat? Your Honor seems to have an inordinate interest in it.
Objection!
I wouldn't call it inordinate, Mr. Gavin. The strangest thing in this case so far is that Phoenix has a daughter. Why did... It's literally everyone like, oh my god, what? Really? None of you are questioning why he's not, or why he doesn't seem to be an acting attorney anymore, but you're all questioning why he has a daughter? Come on. Mr. Wright. What do you think you're doing, right? Wow, things sure look different from the other side. You know what I mean, Apollo. Speaking of looking from the other side, let's consider something for a second. The victim wore the hat all night, never once taking it off except for that one time. And one time being the instant he was hit. Oh. When Mr. Wright returned from reporting the crime, the hat was lying on the floor. Mr. Wright picked it up and placed it on the victim's head. In other words, in order to have seen Mr. Smith's bald head, you would have had to have been there in the hideout at the time of the crime. In other words, I must be the real killer, is what you're trying to say. Not bad, Apollo. Mr. Gavin, I'm afraid that I haven't been entirely honest with the court. What? Oh, I assure you I had the noblest of intentions. I did it all to protect my client, Mr. Wright. Yet, I'm afraid in the current situation I see little reason to hide anything. Very well. Allow me to tell you the truth of what happened that night. Finally, you may begin your testimony. Tell us, how were you involved in the events of that fateful night? The rage I sensed in that man that night troubled me, so I returned to the club. I went down to the basement and peeked in through the little window to the hideout. It must have been right after the murder took place. The victim was dead, as he appears in the photo. A bald head, an unconscious girl, and Wright holding a bottle in his hand. I sensed that was not the best place for me to be at the time, and so I left. That's when the call came from Wright. So, you witnessed the murder? For better or worse, I missed the actual moment of the deed. Mr. Gavin, may I remind you that you're on Mr. Wright's defense team? Your testimony is clearly disadvantageous to your client. What else could I say? I'm standing on the witness stand after all. So you are, Mr. Gavin. And you had to testify as you just did. You had to tell them you saw the scene of the crime through that little window. Mr. Wright? You had to say that. Because that was the only probable window of opportunity, right, Apollo? Oh. Mr. Wright, the defense should do the cross-examination, not the defendants. Mr. Justice, are you prepared? Yes, Your Honor. I can't believe I'm going up against Mr. Gavin. This trial is getting weirder and weirder. Those were the only three at the scene of the crime? Yes, as far as I saw at least.
Then we're back where we started. The killer was the defendant, Phoenix Wright. Who else could it have been? Why didn't you talk to the police?
2 reasons. First, I didn't actually witness the very moment of the crime. Second, my office was asked to defend Wright. Even after seeing what I had seen, I couldn't abandon my friend.
There must have been someone else at the moment of the crime.
Justice, I just said I saw no one, not a soul.
But that goes against what Mr. Wright said.
Yes, this mysterious 4th person. Who would conveniently be the real killer, I suppose. Yeah, to see we agree, Mr. Gavin. Let me pose a question and tell me, what possible reason did the real killer have to swap cards in the victim's hand? Perhaps you can show us a reason why such a thing would be necessary? How can I show something I can't find myself? Remember, Apollo, the card that was swapped out was the 5th ace. 5th ace, right.
Hi, good evening! How are you?
Well, Mr. Justice, the question of why the killer would swap out a card has been raised. Can you point to a reason?
Yes, I can.
It's now or never. The defense would like to present evidence to the court. Evidence showing the reason why a card was swapped out. And go ahead and point out your reason, Mr. Justice. Why did the killer take the 5th ace?
Take that!
I'm good. Thank you. My reason is this. Is that an ace? Why, it's got blood on it. Right next to the spade. What?
This is insane. Why wasn't I told about this?
Could this be the missing 5th ace?
Could it?
Inconceivable. How could you... What are you doing with our card? Well, that's the thing. Why's Mr. Gavin so upset? It's just a fishy card from some fishy girl. That is, I picked it up at the Borscht Bowl Club the night after the murder had occurred. I gave it to my daughter. Cards are stock and trade after all. No, impossible. Unacceptable. The court can't accept this evidence. It's a fraud. A fraud? How can you be so sure? What? I would think the only person who could claim it was a fraud would be the one who took the real card from the crime scene. The real killer. Allow me to elaborate. What if this trace of blood was the reason? The reason for? For the killer to take the card from the scene of the crime. Where are you going with this? Take another look at the photo and at the victim's head. At the moment of the crime, his head fell to the floor, and a trickle of blood ran from his forehead down the back of his head. Couldn't a drop of that blood have fallen on one of the cards? I suppose. The killer then took the card to hide the blood. Regardless, that evidence is non-permissible. Oh? Right. Regardless of how you wasted the last 7 years, you used to be a lawyer. You know what a serious crime it is to conceal evidence. No? We can discuss the finer points of our legal system later. What's important now is that I've answered your question. What are you talking about? You wanted to know why the killer would have taken a card from the crime scene. And now I've told you. That one drop of blood would have been decisive evidence, you see?
Objection!
This is Pace's conjecture, baseless.
Objection!
Oh, I assure you, it's quite big. Yeah. What? It's amazing, really, how a single drop of blood on a single card can lead us to the truth. It's quite simple. Well, Apollo? Yes? Try picturing the scene of the crime. In your head, okay. Ooh, 3D models. The murder took place in a hideout. The body of the luckless victim was found at the poker table. And, before the killer swapped the card out, there was a single card with a drop of blood on it in the victim's hand. Given this, there is one decisive problem with this scene. Well, what is it? Let's keep it simple, shall we? Given that there was a drop of blood on the cards, whose position in this diagram doesn't fit? The victims, the killers, the witnesses, the second witnesses. Whose position doesn't fit with the bloody card?
Take that!
Well, isn't it the victim's position that's the problem? I don't follow your logic here, Mr. Justice. Well, look, the victim was struck on the head, sending him back in his chair. You'd think any blood would fall behind the body, not onto the table in front of him. Take a look at the photo again. If he bled in this position, the blood would fall on the floor, not on the cards. Right, that's right. So what does this mean? Incidentally, we were sitting in swivel chairs. Swivel chairs? Oh man. Apollo, try turning the chair around. How am I gonna do that? Ah, there we go. The chair was facing the other way. It would have to be. So we have to assume that at the time of the murder, the victim's chair was facing away from the table. When Mr. Wright returned from informing the police, which way was the chair facing? When I came back to the room, the body was facing a scene in this photo. That would mean the killer turned the chair back around. Let's take the next step. Look at the diagram once more. We know now the victim was facing away from the table at the time of the murder. But this creates another significant contradiction. Again! Let's test your reasoning skills again, shall we? Apollo, whose location on this diagram contradicts our new understanding of the crime? The victims, the killers, the witnesses, the second witnesses. Whose location creates a contradiction if the victim is facing away? There was a link to Ace poster search on... When Ace was not like this. Hearing talk about Ace so many times today is very funny because we finished watching the Marineford arc and also the post-war arc of One Piece just earlier, like quite literally right before stream we watched episode 516. So hearing so much talk about Ace, I'm like, The victim was struck from the front, correct? Indeed. Well, wouldn't it be hard for the killer to hit him from the front? Sitting where his indicator currently is? The ace was indeed the other one. Yeah, I imagine. I imagine. I would think it'd be quite hard, yes.
Yes, but what you're saying makes no sense. Why would the victim suddenly turn to face the wall in the middle of a game?
I believe a sufficient reason will soon come to light.
What?
There's something in this diagram that makes far less sense, actually. Look again at the diagram. Apollo, if the victim was struck while he was sitting as shown here, where would his assailant be standing? Try marking it on the diagram. What? But there's no room to put a mark where the killer should be. Don't worry, let's think it through and see what we find. We know the victim was facing toward the wall at the time of the crime. That's the only thing we know for sure. Try to forget about everything else. Where would the killer have to be standing to strike our victim from the front? Well, quite literally here. The killer had to be standing, well, here.
You get points for flair, but that's about all you get.
I thought I was onto something there too.
I hardly need to point out that standing there would be impossible. The victim is facing a solid cupboard. Or you claim the killer climbed the cupboard and hit him from above.
It's simple logic, really. If this was the only place the killer could have been standing, then that means that at the very moment of the crime... Wait, I know. At the moment of the crime, the cupboard wasn't there. What's this now? I mean, that's the only explanation, right, Mr. Gavin? Your Honor, I have a suggestion for the defense. We should arrange to examine the cupboard in the hideout immediately. Bailiff, send a team to the crime scene immediately! It's been such a long time since I last had to say that word. How do you pronounce bailiff again? Bailiff? Bailiff. Fuck. I forgot. Have them try to move the cupboard. Your Honor. What? There's one more thing your man should look for. Please give this to the bailiff. Bailiff? Yes, I see. You do belong in the courtroom after all, Mr. Wright. I do my best. But let's forge ahead here while we wait. Look at the diagram once again. It's been changed. If the killer was standing here at the time of the crime, then this cupboard wasn't here. Which means... Apollo, try moving the cupboard. Okay.
The window!
Thank you. As you can see, the cupboard was the problem. At the time of the murder, it has to have been as shown here. Now everything is in place to reconstruct the moment of the crime. Oh my. What's this? What is it now? Look at the diagram of the crime scene once more. It appears we found yet another contradiction. What I believe to be the final contradiction, in fact. It is hideout with a Y, yeah. It's they specifically call it that. Not because of how it would usually be written, but because it's its own name. They call it the hideout. That's on purpose. Huh? Oh, dang. Notice something, Apollo. Our line of deduction is rapidly approaching its logical conclusion. Now then, Mr. Justice, please point to the new contradiction indicator. Is it the victim, the killer, the witness, the second witness? Which indicator in this diagram contradicts what we know about the crime? About this cupboard? Are we all okay with assuming it was moved? Sure, why not? Well, if it was, something really doesn't fit. The cupboard would completely cover up the window to the stairs. That's right, someone standing outside wouldn't be able to see in. Someone like Mr. Gavin. Aces and 9 horde manners? No. In this game specifically, we're actually talking about the actual cards. Face cards? Not face cards. You would use in a poker game. An ace. What did you say? Oh? It's the coolest defense in the West losing his cool. Don't expect me to play along with your little game, right? It's only a game until someone gets killed, Mr. Gavin. And someone was, while the window to the room was blocked by a cupboard. So, Mr. Gavin, perhaps you'd like to explain to the court. Exactly where did you witness the crime scene from?
A beanie. This is Beanie Phoenix. Phoenix.
Excuse me, Your Honor. Order! This is a court of law and I will have order! We just now received word from our investigative team at the Borscht Ball Club. They've examined the cupboard in the hideout, Your Honor. Oh? And what did they find? Well, Your Honor, it turns out there's a secret passage behind it.
What? Dun dun dun.
Ah yes, I believe I mentioned something of the sort before. This is one of the tricks to the room many of our regulars know about. I do remember him saying something about that now that he mentions it. A secret passage is a handy thing to have when you're engaged in illegal goings-on. Never know when you might need to duck away from the eyes of the law. Oh, it ace is a name with a playing card, one has to go. Which is funny considering there's someone right behind me playing bilateral. So the room has a secret passage. Where does it go? The other side connects to the restaurant above. The underworld bosses could get away from the cops and enjoy a cold bowl of borscht, no doubt. Just like our killer. You see where a line of simple deductive reasoning has led us, Apollo? I see it, but I don't believe it. The girl wasn't kidding when she said I needed this trump card for the last hand. At the time of the murder, the window was blocked and the victim's head was only off his head for the few minutes between Mrs. Smith's murder and Mr. Wright's return from calling the cops. In other words, the only place anyone could have seen the victim's bald head was from inside the hideout. Well, Mr. Gavin, come on, say something. Dare I ask what really happened that night? Actually, I think we can probably figure it out ourselves at this point. That night, for whatever reason, our killer had a date with Mr. Smith, a date with destiny. There he crouched, hidden in the secret passageway behind the cupboard, holding his breath, waiting for just the right moment. Then the chance came, and he took it. Need a new name for an existing card? Oh, please no. As Olga Orly was out cold, struck by Mr. Smith. But his time was soon to come. Mr. Wright went upstairs to call the cops, leaving Mr. Shady Smith alone in the hideout with the unconscious demon. Then our killer stepped out from the secret passage and into the hideout. The victim must have heard the cupboard sliding aside. He wheeled his chair around to look and... After the deed was done, the criminal must have seen the blood on the carpet. He would have, of course, realized the need to destroy the evidence. That single spot of blood told the whole story of the crime. Too bad for him he didn't linger any longer in the hideout that night. If he had, he might have noticed the cards on the floor. And the fact that they were all red. Or maybe he's red-blue colorblind. I don't know which kind of color blindness is the most common. I think red-green. I think you hear the most about red-green. Well, it seems this trial has taken yet another turn. I'm truly, truly sorry I had to see this day come, Mr. Gavin. Mr. Gavin? Mr. Payne? Yes, Your Honor? The prosecution will continue its investigation. As for Mr. Phoenix Wright, the defendant, he is hereby cleared of all suspicion. Believe me when I say that I don't believe this is happening, Mr. Gavin. But I'm afraid circumstances call for me to issue a warrant for your arrest immediately.
Objection!
Oh, no need to apologize. I rather enjoyed myself. It's not every day you get to witness a legendary attorney's dirty tactics firsthand. Your point, Mr. Gavin. Frankly, Your Honor, I'm shocked that a person of your caliber would be taken in by such a low-grade parlor trick. Excuse me? The defendant is cleared of all suspicion. This is hardly the time for jokes, Your Honor. Mr. Wright hasn't proven anyone's guilt or innocence here. What he has done is use illegal evidence to put the blame on someone else. And not just anyone else, but me, his own defense attorney. Illegal evidence? Let me ask you, Mr. Gavin. Is there still any reason at present to suspect me of wrongdoing? Of course. This bottle, for instance. The bottle of grape juice Mr. Wright was drinking. How do you intend to explain away the fingerprints on the murder weapon? And not just any fingerprints. Am I right, Mr. Payne?
Actually, yes. The fingerprints on the bottle were upside down.
I seem to recall this being an issue earlier. The court, in this case, demand an explanation. Still a flimsy argument. Still a very interesting start to this game. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, here you go. You're going to defend Mr. Phoenix Wright. Okay, who's not an attorney anymore. Okay. He's also now telling you that the guy you're working under is a murderer. Now prove it. Okay. I can think of only one reason why one would hold a bottle upside down. And that is to hit someone with the bottom of the bottle. Well, Your Honor. See how the codfish squirms to the last. Well, Apollo. Yes? Your boss seems awfully concerned about this bottle still. But I'm sure you can come up with a suitable explanation just like that. Yeah. Just like what? Why would anyone grab a bottle upside down other than to... Don't let him trick you into thinking his explanation is the only legitimate one. Is there really another? Take another look at the court record. I believe you find a simple answer there, in plain sight. How about you just say the answer in plain words? No! It would be hasty to deliver a verdict with unanswered questions indeed. Well, Mr. Justice. Mr. Gavin said that the court in this case demands an explanation. Don't worry, justice won't leave until justice is done. Perhaps the defense would care to enlighten the court? What evidence do you have to explain why the fingerprints on the bottle are upside down? Upside down. Upside down. It's actually easier to show you than explain, Your Honor. Place that bottle on the floor next to your chair. Excuse me? On the floor? Yes. Now reach down and pick it up without getting out of your chair. See? You naturally go to pick up the bottle by its neck. With your fingers upside down. Look at this photograph taken on the night of the murder. The defendant, Mr. Wright, sat here, playing piano, bottles of grape juice on the floor to the side of his piano bench. He would have naturally picked up the bottles upside down several times. For real. For real. I pick up bottles by their neck repeatedly. I've never bothered to like think about like if it's upside down or no. Oh, can't believe it was that simple. We call our dinner that evening, Christoph. I was drinking my usual juice then too. Thank you for the hydrate time. Basically, you used the bottle on the table to do the deed, but then you must have remembered. So you went and picked up one of the bottles from under the piano, and you switched the bottles. You took one of Mr. Wright's bottles and made it look like the murder weapon. That's also why there's no card in this one. What do you have to say to these charges, Mr. Gavin? Fascinating. So this is the legendary attorney's famed tactic of misdirection. What? You claim that I switched the bottle. Where's your proof? Proof? Well, that's, this is our first stream for this specific Ace Attorney. For Apollo Justice, this is our first stream. We've played all of the others that came before this one.
Hi, Raiders, welcome in. Good evening. I'm new. I like the color pink. Vision of JPCs. We're currently playing Apollo Justice. Liberian Ray. Hi, welcome. How was stream? I hope you had fun. Welcome in. We're just about to finish up our first case in this game.
As I thought, more baseless conjecture. I'm afraid your bottle of proof is quite empty.
Objection!
I wouldn't be so sure about that. Your Honor, when you initiated an investigation of the hideout earlier, do you recall I requested an additional investigation? Yes, I have your memo about that here. Retrieved the bottles from under the piano at the Borscht Bowl Club. And here's one of the bottles in question. What, are you going to dust her for fingerprints too? I would be surprised if anyone not but his. Sir Gavin probably wouldn't make such a novice mistake, true. The bottle won't bear a trace of anything. Say, Apollo... Yes? Why did you go ahead and examine that bottle? Why? Just humor me. Is that right? The bottle will solve this case once and for all. What? That's some bottle.
I mean, yeah.
It's right there. What do you mean no clues here, my guy, my brother in Christ? There we go. There's something inside the bottle. What's this? A card. It can't be. Recall that unpleasant woman's testimony for a moment. Miss Olga Oli? Yes, our little swindling Nivotska. You could, right? Like, I specifically zoomed in because I felt like earlier when I hadn't zoomed in, it also didn't let me examine it where I had to. But, come on. Yeah, but the planted card was gone. Wait, this isn't... You're telling me that this is the planted card you disposed of? The one you mentioned in this piece of testimony. I happened to put my hand in my pocket. Yes. That was just earlier. I'm not gonna read that again. The Five of Hearts. This is the card.
Is this your card?
The bottles were swapped, and the only one who could have done that was the fourth person in the club that night. You, Mr. Christoph Gavin. Okay. Am I detecting a hint of anger in this man? That is all. Is this your idea of revenge, Phoenix, right? Revenge? Revenge for the events that took away your attorney's badge 7 years ago. My past is like my logic, straight and true. Like your logic? Okay, maybe, but not like you. Nothing's changed. All I did was point the finger of justice in the proper direction. Fine. I'm glad we could have this little tit-tat-tit, right? Tit-tit-tit-tit-tit. I have no idea.
This is insane. What about me? Don't I get to prosecute anyone?
No, you're just here for the tutorials. I believe this time we finally come to the end of our trial. Mr. Payne, do you have a report for us on Christoph Gavin? It's like tit but with an E.
Tit-tit-tat-tit.
Tit-tat-tit?
He's admitted everything. We're processing his arrest now.
I see. Still, one has to wonder why he would do such a thing. He didn't even have a connection to the victim, did he?
None that we know of.
Mr. Wright, have you anything to add? I'm afraid I can't shed any more light on the matter. About this victim, Mr. Shady Smith. His occupation was listed as traveler. An odd profession, to be sure, and that's all we know about him.
I'll arrange a follow-up investigation, Your Honor.
Good. Mr. Wright. Yes. 7 years and you still haven't lost your touch. Ha ha ha. Christoph Gavin was a man with much significance for me, both as a friend and a lawyer. He was extremely talented, to be sure. I needed 2 things before I could confront him. The first was a place where no injustice would be tolerated, this courtroom. The second was a man who would tolerate no injustice. In other words, a defense attorney. You, Apollo. Me. This is a dark time for our legal system. A twisting of justice brought on by our very own initial trial system. We have to set it right. Mr. Wright. Our work lies ahead of us, and I, for one, am looking forward to it. Well, this seems like a good time to announce a verdict. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Phoenix Wright.
Hot! Milky!
Court is adjourned.
Yeah.
Thanks, Apollo. You came through just like I thought you would. I'm pretty sure I didn't do a thing in there. It was you who cornered Mr. Gap, the killer. I couldn't have done it by myself. You sensed it too today, didn't you? Your ability. Your ability? Yes, a sensitivity I lack. You can't understand it soon enough. Right, I wonder if he means... I have one question for... Yes! We literally saw all of these scenes like a second ago. What's this weird? What was that, Mr. Wright? You have to find the answer to that question yourself. The answer, right. Today was full of questions without answers, most of them about Mr. Gavin. What possible reason could he have had to commit murder? Perhaps you'll learn that in the days to come. Oh, wait. You don't know, do you? This locket is the key. Huh? Oh, that reminds me. I met the girl whose picture is in your locket. I like that the locket, when it's drawn like this, doesn't look anything like the one he actually has on his sprite. Your daughter, right? That's right, she's my daughter. You know, you were right about this locket. Eh? I took this off his neck the night he died. But it looks like our dear Russian scam artist saw me. So the truth is, this locket really did belong to him. Wait, but that's perjury! You testified! You said that locket was yours! I said no such thing, actually. Huh? I merely said that it was a locket with my daughter's picture inside. A subtle distinction, but a distinction nonetheless. And it's a truth. Wait, but then, why? Why was the victim wearing a locket with a picture of your daughter inside it? Sometimes the straightest path to the truth isn't the best one. Give it time. You're still just getting started with your career. Speaking of which, I may be out of a job. I work for Gavin Law Offices after all. I still can't believe I just saw Mr. Gavin get led away in handcuffs. Apollo. Yes? How about coming to work for me? Me? You mean at the Wright & Co. Law Offices? I mean, there's not a single attorney in my generation that doesn't know it. I can't imagine that to be true, but... Wait, but then you're not a... Oh, I turned in my badge, yes. I'm not an attorney anymore. That incident 7 years ago, that legendary trial. And at the middle of it all was one man, Phoenix Wright. The case reached its sad conclusion and he left law for good. Have you ever thought about coming back to the courts? I'm not qualified to stand in a court of law, I'm afraid. Didn't you notice in today's trial? There was a single piece of forged evidence. Forged evidence? What are you talking about? I'm talking about evidence that shouldn't have existed. A naughty magician's trick. One piece of evidence struck me as odd, it's true. It just seemed, well, too perfect. I bet this was the forged evidence.
Take that!
You mean this, don't you? I got this from your daughter, Mr. Wright. Yes, the card couldn't have been found at the crime scene. Why? Because the killer took it with him when he left. Leaving the wrong card in its place. Luckily for us. The court can't accept this evidence, it's a fraud. Yeah. The verdict was already handed down 7 years ago. Then you really... Yes, I forged this card. One look at the crime scene should have told you it wasn't real. But you can't do something like that and call yourself an attorney. Who's calling themselves an attorney, Apollo? So it's true. The rumor is true. 7 years ago. None of that matters much now, does it? I punched him. It's your story from here on out, Apollo. Perhaps I can help you turn the next page. My office's address. Drop in if you like. Mr. Wright. Oh, about your uppercut. Try yelling, take that, next time. I find it packs a little more punch. And Apollo, thanks for today. I had a good time. And with that, Mr. Wright walked out the door. And that's how my first trial ended. A lot of mysteries went unsolved. And at the time, I had no idea they were all related. Every mystery that day connected by a single thread of logic. I'd find that out soon enough. My name is Apollo Justice, attorney at law, and this is how my story begins. Yay! Case 1 done! Going around giving uppercuts to people now? No, I think this is the only time. I think this is a one-time thingy. But no, we're not going to go on to the next one. I would like to see... I guess if I load it, it's simply going to go there. But you can start from here as well. Interesting. But we're going to end here actually. Because it is, quite frankly, exactly midnight. Okay, 1 minute after midnight. That means we can continue on with the next episode next time. It's a cool introduction. It really kind of throws you in there and it's like, okay, here's your new main character. Also, have fun. Mom said it's my turn to be weird. No, Mom said it's my turn to go to bed. I'm gonna end here for tonight. I know I keep saying I want to stream more often, but I haven't really gotten around to doing it. I don't know. Life is interesting. We'll get there. Thank you for nice. No, thank you for coming. I think I'm gonna try see if we stream tomorrow. I don't know if we're gonna continue with Apollo, maybe Apollo, so it's a shorter stream, or Like a Dragon. We'll see. But thank you so much for coming. Bye. I send you guys over to Sagi, who is playing Final Fantasy VII. Have a good night. Thank you guys so much for coming. Wait, where's my ending song? I forgot. There we go. Have a good night. I'll see y'all soon.
And bye-bye. Bye-bye.